remember piling into the family station wagon, rolling down the windows, and heading out for a treat after church or a long day of errands. Back then, eating out was special. The booths were vinyl, the menus were printed, and the waitresses always called you hon. The food may not have been fancy, but it sure was comforting grilled cheese with crinkle-cut fries, hot fudge sundaes, and bottomless cups of coffee poured from glass carafes. Today, we're flipping through the menu of the past, looking at 10 popular restaurant chains from the 1970s that vanished, places that once fed America as heart and soul, but now live only in memories. 1. Sambo's Pancakes and Controversy. Sambo's was once a household name, with nearly 1,100 locations across the country by the late 70s, known for its tiger-themed decor and budget-friendly breakfast platters. It was a favorite stop for families looking for a hearty stack of pancakes, but the name and imagery, based on a children's book, stirred controversy for its racial insensitivity. As public opinion shifted, the chain struggled to keep up. By the early 80s, most locations were either renamed or shut down altogether. This fast food chain was a pioneer introducing kids' meals, build-your-own burgers, and catchy mascots like Burger Chef and Jeff. It was fun, fast, and full of flavor. But despite its early success, it couldn't keep pace with giants like McDonald's. The signature Gino Giant, a burger that gave the Big Mac a run for its money. It even partnered with Kentucky Fried Chicken at many locations. But by the early 80s, the chain was sold to Marriott, who phased it out in favor of Roy Rogers. Founded in Florida, this chain grew fast in the 60s and 70s. It offered a simple, diner-style menu with just enough quirk to stand out. But after a string of ownership changes, including a stint under the folks who ran Caesar's Palace, lost its footing. By the mid-1980s, the buns were cold and the lights dimmed for good. Today, Gino's lives on only in faded wrappers and fan memories. By the early 80s, most locations were sold off or rebranded as Hardee's, based mostly in Southern California. It was a local favorite with a cult following. The menu was strange, but the prices were right. In 1984, Taco Bell bought out most of the locations, and Poop and Taco disappeared almost overnight. Still, the name alone brings a smile to those who remember it. They were where birthdays were celebrated, report cards were rewarded, and family nights out became cherished memories. While their signs may be gone, they still light up in our minds. They served up burgers, fried chicken, and fish sandwiches. Before that was the norm. Kids loved the mascots Hamburger Hungry, Chicken Hungry, and Big Fish Hungry, and the food was hearty and fast, with colorful margaritas the size of your head and deep-fried chimichangas. It made every meal feel like a party. At its peak in the 80s, Chicay's had over 200 locations, but financial troubles and a deadly hepatitis outbreak in the early 2000s sealed its fate. Let us know in the comments. We love hearing your stories from the golden days of American dining. Though the brand lives on in sauces and salsas, the restaurants are long gone. But Red Barn never quite found stable ownership, and expansion slowed. By the early 80s, most locations had closed or turned into local diners. Still, I'll ask anyone who grew up in the 70s and they'll remember that bright orange and blue sign. Today, only one original Sambo's remains in Santa Barbara, California as a kind of time capsule. 2. Howard Johnson's, the king of the road with its orange roofs and turquoise signs. Howard Johnson's was a beacon for travelers. It wasn't just a restaurant, it was an institution, often paired with roadside motels. With dim lighting and thick red carpets, it was the perfect spot for a quiet date or a family dinner. Their steak, potato and roll combo was a staple of more food courts across America. But as shopping habits changed and newer restaurants popped up, York faded into the background, unbeatable. Their 28 flavors of ice cream were legendary, and the fried clam strips. But as fast food giants like McDonald's and Burger King took over the highways, Hojo's couldn't compete on price or speed. The brand slowly faded, and by 2022, the very last Howard Johnson's restaurant closed its doors for good. 3. Steak and Ale. Fancy dining on a budget, Steak and Ale brought the steakhouse experience to the middle class. Founded in 1966, it offered dark wood interiors, salad bars, and affordable sirloins, all with a touch of medieval charm. Families went there to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, or just a Saturday night out. But over time, casual dining chains like Outback and Chili's stole the spotlight. A series of ownership changes didn't help, and by 2008, Steak and Ale was no more. 4. Burger Chef. Ahead of its time before the Happy Meal, there was Burger Chef 5. Gino's, where burgers met football. Gino's was started by NFL star Gino Marchetti, and for many in the Mid-Atlantic, it was the place for burgers and fried chicken. What made it special? 6 Lums beer-steamed hot dogs. You could smell the Lums before you saw it. Hot dogs steamed in beer, served with a side of nostalgia. 7 Red Barn, the Big Barney and the Barnbuster with its barn-shaped buildings and catchy jingles. Red Barn was hard to miss. 8. York Steakhouse. Dining like a knight, walking into a York Steakhouse felt like stepping into a medieval banquet hall. It was self-service but still felt upscale for the time. 9 Pup and Taco. Fast food with a twist. Before Taco Bell ruled the world, there was Pup Taco, a quirky mix of hot dogs, tacos, and burgers under one roof. 10 Chicais Fiesta every night. Chicais was the first real taste of Mexican food for many Americans. Outro, a place at the table of memory. These restaurants weren't just places to eat, they were part of our daily lives. Got a favorite dish or memory to share? Did you ever eat at any of these spots?